Well, today we're answering a smart question from a viewer about hiring a spouse, hiring children, just getting your family involved in the family business. And when it's structured properly, it can really provide some significant tax advantages and really strengthen retirement savings. So we're going to get into some of those strategies and talk about how to do that successfully coming up next. Welcome in. This is Legacy Beyond Wealth. I am Ben George. He is Rob Shelton at Axio Wealth Management. And we got a good one today, Rob, talking about getting your children and your family involved in the family business, because I think a lot of people may be just kind of aware this happens, but this is something that you've actually implemented quite successfully, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, myself in my own business, but also with a lot of our business clients, this is a topic that is usually one of the forefronts as they become a new client and come on board.
Yeah, this is very good. This is an important topic. So, it all kind of this whole conversation stems from a question that came in, which I'll provide to you now, just kind of give you the context of this discussion. But this question came in, and here it is. I'm self-employed and I run a small business. I've heard some people say you can hire a spouse or even your kids to work for your business, and there could be some tax benefits. Is that true? And how does it work? Are there any advantages or things I should watch out for? So let's just start there. First off, with the tax benefits, Rob. What are those benefits if you're hiring a spouse or you're hiring your children to work in your business?
They always say there's multiple ways to skin a cat. Yeah. I mean, that's the wrong saying in today's day and age. But when you think about it, there are different paths you can be able to take. So we always love to sit down and understand what is it that you're trying to accomplish. And sometimes the client may not know exactly, other than I want some tax savings. But depending upon the business, there's different structures that are out there that can give you different tax benefits. And this is where it sometimes gets confusing or complicated, especially doing a lot of online research about this topic, because you might be reading what worked for one business owner and your goals might be a little bit different than theirs, but it wasn't clearly established why they did what they did for the end result, and you're trying to mimic what they did. So always recommend when you're doing this to first and foremost seek out competent professionals, both in the tax and financial advisor realm, to be able to help you out. So everything we talk about today is just going to be kind of generic, but as you look at it, the S corporation has some benefits that are associated with it from tax purposes. And then you have partnerships that have other tax benefits that are associated with it. And I usually like to marry those two together. And so the way that I look at that is being able to have my own wife that works in my S corporation with me. And she's very talented in what she does. A lot of office work, as well as some interior design work from time to time. And probably the toughest work of all is keeping Rob on task and making sure he looks good. But beyond that, we also have our kids. And, what we ended up doing is setting up an LLC structure because it didn't make sense to pay a young kid under the age of 18 through the S corporation. We're much better to do that through a partnership. And so I looked at services that needed to be done out there, and we looked at some of those. I've got shredding needs for sensitive documents, things of that nature. We love sending out little birthday gifts and things of that nature to clients, and so my kids help package that together. So we outsource that to the LLC and have the kids being paid through the partnership, which provides other tax benefits that are associated with it. I think as you look at it, there's different stages and different phases in your business where different ways to structure paying kids make sense, or paying a spouse. The key is finding out what phase you're in and where you want to go, and let's custom design that for you.
Yeah, that custom design is so important. That's again why you work with someone like Rob at Axio Wealth Management that can help you build that wealth management plan for your family to help you continue to grow on everything you've worked for. And again, that's why this topic's so important and why we got asked this, Rob. And I'm guessing with this, I guess, idea of hiring family, the IRS probably keeps an eye on it. I'm sure there are things you have to kind of be aware of. You can't just, I'm sure, hire your son or your daughter and pay them an exorbitant amount of money, or just make them not do any work, just pay them for nothing. So what are some of the things you just have to be aware of, some of the requirements that are necessary?
Yeah, I think one, you have to make it a job that actually needs to be done, right? I think a lot of time business owners try to be a little too creative and they stretch a little too far, being, I can pay my kid to do X, Y, Z, when you get an independent third party like the IRS comes out and looks like, hey, you really didn't need that service for your business. You're really stretching quite a bit. But as I've sat down with business owners and brainstormed ideas with them, usually there's lots of opportunities to have your family, your kids, your spouse be involved in the business with you. It's just a matter of making sure we've got it down right and documenting the right way. And has been, as you alluded to, having the right compensation structure tied to that, that it doesn't look like it's being abused as a tax loophole, but as a legitimate way of paying for a service that you would otherwise have gone out and paid for yourself.
All right, so we talked about some of the tax benefits for doing this. What about from a retirement planning standpoint? What maybe could benefit you there by hiring someone from your family?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of successful business owners are always out there looking at a tax deduction. And the one thing I love about this is when you look at tax deductions, I kind of joke once we met with a farmer who said, "Hey, I'm just going to buy a new piece of equipment." Really didn't need it, but it was a tax deduction. I kind of say, well, it's just like burning money is a tax deduction if you want it to be, right? Like there was really no benefit in helping him generate or create wealth. What I love about retirement accounts is that you can get some tax benefits through the deduction of them or through tax free growth. And then you're really building momentum towards your retirement or towards building wealth, because it's not just buying a piece of equipment or a car or whatever it may be for the sake of getting a deduction. You're actually benefiting your net worth statement, your bottom line, trying to build that wealth that's out there. And so it's great when you can be able to add a spouse to your retirement account, your employer side of things, whether it be the 401k or a simple IRA or a Roth IRA or whatever it might be out there. There's some big benefits that can have over time.
Are you ready to unlock the freedom to live your best life? Schedule your no-cost 60-minute discovery meeting with our team today. During this session, we'll take the time to understand your family story and financial dreams. Together, we'll craft a personalized roadmap designed to help you achieve your goals. Let's explore how we can unlock the freedom for you and your family to thrive. Just click the link in the description of today's show to get started.
Yeah, some really big benefits for that. Again, if you want to learn more, when I ask Rob any specific questions about that, how to maybe work that into your business, you can always get in touch, AxioWM.com. I know tax advantages obviously are a big thing, but what other strategic benefits can maybe you get out of this, Rob, in terms of bringing the family in, maybe working some other angles besides just the taxes?
You know, I think one of the most important lessons I have as a father is being able to help my kids understand and have a good relationship with money. I always joke, Ben, and you've heard of this way too much, but I feel like I should have got a degree in psychology versus finance. And, we all have a relationship with money that has to do with the environment that we grew up in. And part of it is our education as well. And I think by having your family involved, I look at my children and having them involved in the business. Part of it they would shred a box of papers and they'd get paid $20. And so we'd be at the store, and my kids, when they were young, would be like, "Oh, hey, Dad, I want this." Every parent's experienced that, right? You take your kid to the store, and there's these wants and desires that they have. And it's great because they have a separate bank account they've been paid into. And I could tell my child, "Hey, you've got this money that's here. This thing you want costs $40. That's going to equate to 2 boxes of paper that you got to shred," because they average about 1 box an hour. And boy, the light bulb goes on. And, it's kind of cool to be able to be like, "Oh, maybe I really didn't want this as much as I thought I wanted it," right?
Yeah.
And it helps them be able to attach the value of what money is, how much hard work goes into that. And if they really did want that or need that, and if it was worth those hours being traded of work that's there. So I think there's some great lessons to be able to teach our kids, especially minor children, about money and a healthy relationship with it.
Yeah, I think that's such a powerful thing that you can establish early through this, is just the lessons you learn along the way, and doing that early, I know, is a big part, and to be able to do that within the structure of a family business, I think too, a little bit of safety in that as well. To kind of wrap this up, any common mistakes just to kind of be aware of, or that you think that people maybe typically make as a business owner if they try to use this strategy?
I think distraction gets in there all too often. I think we look at it, and the initial reason might be tax advantages. And yes, tax advantages come along with it. But I think if we look at all the other advantages that are there, like we talked about with financial literacy and teaching our children, the relationship with money and what that looks like, and how to build up a savings account. For our children, we, as they started working for us, helped them open up a Roth IRA so they could be able to see how it grows and see how the market works in good years and bad years. And so I think so many people maybe just look at it just a tax loophole or a way that they want to try to exploit that part of the tax code. They don't take full advantage that's out there. I think the other thing is they set it up and they just go on autopilot, something that ought to be reviewed on a regular basis just to make sure we're still in compliance and conformity. You'd hate to get into an audit and find out, wait a second, we're not documenting things the right way, or, maybe we're paying an unreasonable wage now, or the kids were doing this and now they're not. As well as your own kids, like my oldest is now working because I wanted him to go out and find out what physical labor is. He's working in the local parks department, mowing lawns in 100-degree weather and using that grass trimmer and having to clean bathrooms and garbage cans, those things that a dad feels like build character in a kid, right?
Yep.
And I can only want my son to be able to make so much in a year to be able to get the tax benefits. And so I got to track that a little bit better now that he has a job outside of our company as well. So I think just being proactive, but I don't want that to feel like that's the requirement of the client. That's where we want to step in and work as a team approach with professionals. We give the executive summary on that type of thing, right? It's one of the biggest things to be able to do as a successful individual is delegate that off to your professional team to help monitor that for you. And so I'd say that'd be the biggest mistake is people trying to manage it on their own and not being proactive in managing it, maintaining it.
I think that's the perfect place to kind of close it out too, Rob, is that you work with a lot of business owners. So, this might be a specific question that came in from someone, but there's a lot of other benefits to working with you as a business owner, right? Just kind of quickly hit on some of the value that you provide business owners.
Yeah, I think sometimes we look at it, and we'll go over this. It's another topic that we definitely want to do another show on, but gaining traction. Right? Like you ever feel like your wheels are just spinning in mud and you got so much going on and you got so much you got to do as a business owner. You have to start to delegate at some point. And what we want to do is take on that role of delegation where we can find the areas where you can actually gain traction in your financial picture and start to move forward out of that mud, start to move towards that vision and living that best life that you want to be able to have. So what we love to do is sit down in that discovery meeting, go over the concerns, the goals that you have, and then put actionable items. I kind of love to say that we're not just financial planners, financial executioners, if that's the right word to use, because execution is so key to actually seeing success. And that's where we really want to set ourselves apart.
I love that. We'll get in touch. AxioWM.com. All the contact info is in the show description. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe as well. But take advantage of that discovery call that Rob offers anyone. And we appreciate you being a part of the show. And thanks again for the question. If you have any questions for us, we'd love to hear from you. Please reach out and we'll talk to you on a future video. Thanks, Rob.
Thanks.